Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and we're going into chapter 3.2, variant 5. This is the final quest with Venom as the boss. This path has Aggression Fury, Aggression Regen, and Mystic Ward. And then it's got the global symbiote mitosis node. So for these first few fights, I'm going in with Ghost Rider, so I'm not sure that I've even used Ghost Rider in any of the earlier quests. I typically had some other mystics on my team, but you can see there I get smacked right out the gate, so it's not a good start. But I will tell you what, Ghost Rider is an awesome champ. Now, is he a champ that can do massive amounts of damage? Not really. Is he going to do it quick? No, he's not going to do it quick. But he is so reliable. If you can, depending on the nodes that you're facing and the champion and whatnot, place the judgments that benefit you the most. So like for this particular path, one of the last judgments that I'm going to place is the regen, or just the L3 damnation, simply because it's going to allow me to regenerate for a long, significant amount of time, which in this case, not just because I got hit, because of the Aggression Fury, you can, if you have to bait out a special or whatever and it's taking a long time and you're building up those furies, just even the block damage, it can really, really build up and be quite significant. And then the damnation is basically a power lock with its degen tied to it. And so you can in turn be very, very aggressive, pin him up against the wall, do draft back intercepts, and just go to town. So here I'm applying, and granted, you don't have what's his bucket blade to go along with this, so not every judgment is going to stick 100%. So just keep that in mind. But for the judgments that do stick, it's gonna go well. So I got the bleed off. The bleed was probably a little bit early. I'd rather probably have that a little bit later on. I think ideally, the order that I would go for the 6 judgments would be to apply an L1 to get the Fate Seal. Then I would get a L2 to get the Power Drain. Then I would get the Fury, then the Bleed, then the Regen, then the Damnation. That's kind of the order that I think I do generally mostly in these fights, just because once you and make sure, on this one I didn't, but if at all possible, get the Damnation off from your L3 when they don't have a bar or more power. That way you can come out of it, you can get them pinned against the wall like this right now, and just hammer with draft back intercepts over and over and over again, and you'll get a ton of combo in, you'll get a ton of damage in, you'll build back up to like an L2. So here, War Machine is almost down. I mean, I've taken a few hits, but you're gonna see, I think I end this fight with close to 100%, if not at 100% health. And that just goes to show like how good Ghost Rider can be. So you see here, I got him pinned up against the wall. He's got Damnation. Okay, so I got 92%, and so that wasn't too bad. And I got hit, I don't know, see if I get quick enough thing. I got hit 5 times. So yeah, he's just good. He's got so much utility. I know he's probably a little bit underrated compared to a lot of others, just because his damage isn't super high. But if you're comfortable with the fight, he can have you coming out of the fight at 100% all the time, and you can cycle through his judgments over and over again. So here I start off, I get the L1 on Howard, I get rid of his armors, and here with Howard, I'm just going to make sure that I push him to L1 and bait the L1s. I don't want to push him to L2 and then get him passive and build up a bunch of Aggression Fury and then hit me, in the block, because I'm not sure if it's possible. I'm sure it is, but I've never seen it been done, is to evade the L2. So here I'm going, trying to just keep him at his L1 and then keep an eye on his health bar to make sure that once he gets around 60% and 30%, that I'm in a position that I can attack, push him over those thresholds, and then be able to get a parry off, because you do not want to get thunderstruck on a big Howard like this, because it would hurt pretty bad, I think. And I'm not sure that I do. I think maybe the first one was a regen. Maybe the second one of these is the thunder quack. But I think I get it off before I take any or very little damage. But we'll check that out when it comes around. So I have 3 judgments on, and I think I'm going to try to get him to throw his L1, and got the bleed off. I think I'm going to get off a heavy and then go into an L3. Yep. So now he's under 1 bar of power. So with this damnation that's going to stick, he will not gain any power. I can get him up against the wall and just go to town. And I'm going to heal back up all of the health that I happen to have lost from the chip damage. So yeah. So there, I turn off. He was processing. I'm at 100% full yellow bar. And yeah, we're gonna just repeat that. So I got the power drain off, which is something that doesn't really matter. So whatever you can do, whichever judgment doesn't matter the most, I try to get that off as soon as possible, because it's gonna last the shortest. So we got off the Fury with the medium combo. I think I'm going to get an L1 off next. And I'm going to nullify all of those Furies. And it doesn't apply on that one, because it isn't 100% ability accuracy. So unless you got Blade on, you really can't guarantee it. So there we go. We got the Fate Seal. We've nullified all those Furies that he had been getting. And now we're going to make sure that we kind of pay attention to that power, that his health bar. He's just at 30%. Okay, so I turn off both on this fight. So yeah, we didn't see the thunderquack and see how much damage it would have done. But so now I think I'm going to get off a bleed, probably after this combo, and then go and I didn't go into the heavy, so I'm going to do the heavy regen after I get off the damnation. But again, he's under 1 bar of power, so I can get him up against the wall and just go to town. And yeah, so it's just good times for Ghost Rider. You can heavy spam him against the wall as well. So just keep that in mind. I don't think I do that in this fight. I think I might do it in another fight. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Ghost Rider, full yellow bar. We got another fight down. Okay, so this next one, we're going to go up against Diablo. Again, I'm going to use Ghost Rider just because he's a beast. I mean, and for something like this where you can take a lot of block damage from the Aggression Fury, yeah, he's just really good at recovering. he is one of the best healers out there, where you can go down from 1% and you can come all the way back up and end the fight at 100% fairly easily. So here with Diablo, just make sure that you pay attention so that he doesn't go unstoppable on you. Preferably, I like to have him throw his L2s. They're pretty easy to evade and get, basically get across the screen, and you can counter it. I didn't counter it on that first one, but I do think he does throw one later on that I do counter. So yeah, you can just basically dash back, wait for that little tornado thing to come across, and then you can rush right in and attack him. So yeah, this fight's going pretty smooth so far. Here comes another. Okay, well, I tried to go in and attack that one, and I missed my opening. But I know you can counter it. Face Diablo quite a bit in the redouble determination power gain node thing on map 7, whatever that, can't think of the name at the moment. But yeah, so now he's locked down with power. I didn't get the regen on the first one. I get the regen on the second, and boom, we're just gonna go ham on him. And I'm gonna be getting this regen, and it's gonna be super, and because it was one of the last ones, it still lasts. So as long as I don't heavy again, that regen is gonna stick and stay with that long duration, which is really nice. Activated that fury. I think I'm gonna get a bleed. Nope, didn't apply. And that's one of the downfalls with Ghost Rider, is that the without blade, it's just not 100%. Although it's pretty reliable, it's just sometimes you may not get it, and especially when you're trying to throw like an L2 or something to get the power drain and you don't get it. That's a lot of power lost to not get that judgment. You got to build yourself all the way back up when most likely you would have been building it to get that L3. So here we're just about done. Gonna hit him with another L3. Granted, these fights aren't like super fast, but he's just super reliable. He can do a lot. And we're gonna kill him right here, and we're gonna end with a full yellow bar. All right, and now we're going to go up against Black Panther, and we're going to use Ghost Rider again. And Ghost Rider is a good counter for this, because you can turn off all of those the armor ups that Black Panther can get. There's no limber on this path, so you can stun just about anybody without any repercussions, with exception to this fight. Now, if he's got an armor up, you can get stun reflected. There I put on the Fate Seal so I can keep those armors off. I can parry stun, and this fight's going good. But I believe coming up, I'm not sure how deep into the fight, I do get wrecked and I do end up dying. Yeah, right there. I was trying to bait out that L2, and it just didn't happen, and he stuck me. With that Aggression Fury, if you let it build up like that, he or anybody that has, numerous amounts of Furies, they will kill you with one little love tap. So that kind of was unfortunate. That was the end of my Ghost Rider run. But I do believe I use Ghost Rider on a couple more of the pass in this quest, just because he's working really well. It's really reliable. Can heal up the whole bit. So we're going in with Doom. Doom is great here as well, because you can nullify the armors. Doom is very tanky, granted. You do not want to have a whole bunch of Furies built up, but you can passive stun him with his shock, holding that heavy, and while he still has armor up, so that's really nice. So you can get some good openings with Doom. You can do his L3, come out with that passive stun without any repercussions of having the stun get reflected on you. And so far this is going pretty well. I think I do take some block damage at some point, but I do finish this fight off with Doom. I'm trying to bait those heavies while he has the armor breaks up. Just make sure you do not parry him while he has the armors. And you'll be fine. So this fight's almost done. And I think that's about it. So I just take a little bit of block damage there, 20%. And here we go. There, Black Panther Civil Warrior is down. And you saw on my profile I have it changed to Black Panther because Chadwick Boseman, he died last night, which is really unfortunate. He passed away to cancer. It's really sad. He was a really, really good actor for that part. It's really unfortunate. Now we're going into Agent Venom. Now this was probably the fight that I was most worried about, just because Agent Venom, he can shrug off a lot, your stuns, pretty much any buff or debuff you throw at him. And I know you can evade, I think, all of Agent Venom's special one. I typically evade out of his little kick move, and then at the very end of the L1 barrage of bullets that come at you, but I'll typically take some chip damage. And that was what I was most worried about, was that he would get to a point where he would be super, super passive and build up a whole bunch of Aggression Fury and then just spray you with a bunch of L1 bullets, and it would just eat me away. But so far so good. Doing a lot of hard blocks to bait the heavies versus trying to parry stun him, and it's been working. And going into this L3 cycle, gonna light him up with an L2 with 2 Furies up, and 2 of those incinerates end up getting shrugged off, but 1 sticks and it kills him. So that went a lot better than I had hoped it would go. Agent Venom's down. Now we're going into Wolverine. Still got like half health left on Doom. Yeah, I'm right at 50%. And this fight I'm not worried about at all. Even with the Mystic Ward, with possibly not having the ability to negate Wolverine's regen, just not worried about it. Rank 5 Dr. Doom's gonna have plenty of firepower to offset any of Wolverine's regen, even with the aggressive regen on top of that. Just gonna get some L3s off, get the Fury, and just kind of go to town. So this is a pretty easy fight. I think for this whole lane, Black Panther and Agent Venom are the more trickier fights. War Machine, you can end up taking some block damage from him with the Aggression Fury and his L1s, and then towards the end when he gets his empty the clip thing activated, definitely can take some damage, which is one of the reasons why I like Ghost Rider for this path, just because you can recover from all of the chip damage. Now if you get hit like I did against Black Panther, then yeah, you're not going to be able to recover from that. But look how fast that went. Wolverine's down, 64 hits. Very, very clean fight. And the last fight on this path is, of course, the boss. It's Venom. And we're going to go up. We have everybody alive except Ghost Rider. And on this attempt, I'm going to try to get the solo using Symbiote Supreme. And Symbiote Supreme, he's a really good option here. Simply because the staggers are not going to get impacted by the Mystic Ward node, because the stagger just gets applied passively, and then when the buff comes up, it will just not allow it. And the bleed damage that Symbiote can get once you fire off those L3s and get to that last phase, can't remember what it's called at the moment, but he can do a lot of damage really quick. And here I'm just trying to not push him to L2, just because it takes up a lot of space on the map, but I'm getting backed up quite significantly. And here we get an L3 off, so we're going to have the armor phase up, which is good, which technically means I could eat an L3. Granted, he will make you bleed, but look at that, I get hit by that L2. It doesn't trigger any bleed, so I got really, really, really lucky there. I have 7 bleeds, 6 bleeds, 7 bleeds, 8 bleeds, 9 bleeds going on this dude. Cycling those L2s and getting back to an L3. So big damage here. There's no boost going. And that L3 mode, we have all 3, the set fangs, the null shadows, and the power cunning. It can really do a lot of damage. And now here I'm trying to make sure that he throws his L1, and I'm just at the very end of that phase. I get back to an L3. I'm going to try to get him to throw an L1 so I can get another L3 off. It's looking pretty good, besides the fact that I got smacked by that L2 earlier on. And I should have just gone for the L3, I think, on that, versus getting him with one little poke before I toss that off. I think this is going to push him to an L2. Yes. And that's why I should have not have done that, and then scrub, get hit by the L2. So I know you can evade it, just sometimes the spacing, and when he's super aggressive like that, it can just be problematic. So don't get the solo. Worst things can happen. But he's got 37% left, and I go in with Doom, and Doom plays cleanup, just like he did on the first time where I messed up with magic. And we're gonna take this guy out. And the extra power gain and all that really helps to keep Doom going in a cycle. It really helps with that power steal when he comes out on the stun, and making sure that you push him to have over 2 bars of power when you L3. So yeah, not much to say here. Venom's gonna die. He's gonna get burnt, and we're gonna finish up our second path. So this Venom boss, not too tricky. I just personally, my preference for fighting Venom is to stick him to him throwing his L1s, which when he's got the energize can make it a little bit more tricky if he gets a little stubborn, but generally he's been pretty aggressive on this fight. And this should just about do it. Yep, I don't even think I have to throw an L2 to finish him off, or the L1. So Venom goes down, cleans up what Symbiote could not do, 56-0, and that's our second path. and I'll be uploading the other pass soon. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.